My name's Alice and I studied English Language and Literature at the University of Sheffield. I currently work for the University of Sheffield in the UK and EU recruitment team as a graduate intern. So my department deals with going out to school visits, deals with open days, deals with attending UCAS events. Basically, we're trying to convince a lot of people that the University of Sheffield is a good place to study and to come to us. My current job title is a graduate intern, and my main job duties include looking after our student ambassadors. I attend events for the university, so I go to careers fairs, things like that. I'm stood with a stand and I give out prospectus to students and tell them that I had a really good time studying here and they will too. So for day to day, I can be doing anything from prepping an inward visit, so we have schools that come into the university and we have to kind of create activities for anything between 11 and 16-year-olds. So you can be talking to academic departments, trying to get academics involved and getting workshops set up and all that kind of thing, preparing presentations, so anything from student life to finance, accommodation, all those important things that they need to think about. We design the presentations for those as well. And for the open day setup, that begins a couple of months in advance. We're recruiting ambassadors, we're getting our exhibitors in, we're sending out invitations to prospective students, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of admin work that goes into a one-day event. Or it can be the complete other side. I can be somewhere like Bath or Bristol or Surrey, anywhere like that, and attending an event and delivering talks to students, handing out prospectus, all those different kinds of things. Yeah, I really like my job. I like the fact that I get some time in the office to kind of sit and recuperate, and then I also get to go out and about. I get to travel the country in hire cars. I've proper actually learned to drive on motorways, which has been quite exciting since I did not think I could do that. The most challenging aspects, I think, have been the changing environment that the higher education sector is. For instance, my team have just taken over the applicant open days that we've never run before. So this has been a whole new area for everyone to work in, and so I've had to adapt. We've never looked after student ambassadors for these open days. There's hundreds more ambassadors than there's ever been in any other open days, and there's no previous processes that I can use, so things like that make it quite challenging, but also makes it quite rewarding because you get a lot of experience doing things like that. The work requires a range of skills. I think most importantly, the passion for Sheffield has to be, it's not exactly a skill, but it's something that's really important in our job. We need to be able to convey that to students. Persuasion, like you need to be able to talk to 16-year-olds who are not even sure what they want to be doing in their A-levels and try and convince them on a career pathway or 3 years of study that's going to cost them £27,000. You've got to be really careful how you talk to them and all that kind of thing. So I'd say definitely communication skills is up there. So I graduated in 2016. After that, I kind of travelled for like a month, as I think a lot of people do, and kind of panicked about my future and what I was going to do. And then I moved home, lived with my parents, and I worked in a local theatre just as a box office attendant. So this was doing like basic admin, ticketing, all that kind of thing. And then the graduate internships came open in December, so I applied for one of them. They were initially 6-month contracts, so I was really happy. I just got a spareroom.com and lived with like some other professionals in Sheffield, and then my contract got extended for another year, so this is why I'm still here now, like a year and a bit later, and it's given me the skills and experience to apply for another job. So now I've got a job as a postgraduate taught admissions and student support officer in mechanical engineering department, so I'm really happy about that. In the future, I want to remain in the higher education sector. I really like working here. I love Sheffield, so I think I want to stay in this city as well. And I like talking to prospective students, so anything that gives me that kind of role, I'm looking for something like that. My advice to students would be, if your graduation's coming up and you don't have a job in place and all your friends are looking at grad schemes and everything, to not panic, because I went through that panic and it's not worth trying to do it at the same time as your exams or your essays if you don't feel you can. If you can and you know what you want to do, then great, go for it. But if you're not in that position, don't be too harsh on yourself, because you've got 60 years of working ahead of you after you graduate, so you might as well take your time to decide what you're going to do.